Hello everybody and welcome back. So today is going to be all about foundation. There has been quite a few significant foundation launches this year. I feel like brands are really putting their all into the complexion realm, and a lot of them have been really impressing me. Some of them have already become favorites, and I see a lot of them actually replacing old favorites as time goes on. So today I'm going to be talking about the 8 bigger launches this year. I'm going to tell you about my experience, I'm going to give you the facts about them and compare them where it's applicable. Then near the end, I'm going to loosely rank them, which was tricky for me to do because I go to these foundations for different purposes. So while I'm ranking them, I'll tell you what I reach for each one for, if that makes sense. So before we get into today's video, I'd love for you to subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. So I'm going to first start off with the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. I feel like this was the first foundation that came out and it was everywhere. Everyone was talking about this like crazy. So this was of course hyped up. I was really excited to try it. So a few of the key highlights from this product is that it's long wearing, it has hyaluronic acid, it's medium coverage, it's best for dry combo normal skin. Note that there's no oily there. It has a natural finish and it's also cruelty free, and it's described as a 16-hour natural glow foundation with buildable medium coverage to hydrate, smooth, blur pores, and brighten skin. And it has a couple of skincare benefits in here. So it has hyaluronic acid, which obviously hydrates your skin and makes it look more plump and all that. Rose Complex and Bix Active, which I don't know what it is, but it says here that it visibly reduces shine and blurs the look of pores. So that's the facts on this foundation. Now I'm going to talk about my personal experience with it. So the first couple of uses, I was in love with the experience. I thought it had a gorgeous finish. It was super glowy. I loved the coverage. It just truly perfected my skin and made it overall look very smooth and just awesome. I thought that this was going to be like my new super reliable foundation, but as I was trying it out, I found that it has kind of a thicker consistency, so it took a lot longer for me to apply it, and it felt a little bit heavy on my skin. I noticed on the days that I was wearing this product for longer, it started to feel very heavy, and I felt like I was aware that I was wearing makeup and I just wanted to wash it off. And I found that it looked thicker in areas too, like it would kind of enhance the texture of just my skin, not even just like my natural texture that I have from like past acne and everything like that, just my skin in general. It looked thick on my forehead, in the center of my cheeks, and around my mouth, which I didn't enjoy. And I feel like it got kind of thick in those areas just due to my oilier complexion. I don't know what happened there, but that led me to break out quite a bit from this product. Whenever I would use this, I would wake up with kind of deeper pimples or just like surface ones, so I know it was this product. It would only happen when I wore this. So I no longer really use this foundation just because I can't trust it. I don't want to break out, and I actually prefer others in this video. At first I was kind of heartbroken because I loved the effect and look of this so much, but I'm happy there has been quite a few launches since then, and some of them kind of compare to this, which I'll mention when I talk about the others. So that was my experience with this first one here. Now I'm going to be talking about the Rose Inc Skin Enhance Luminous Tinted Serum. So a few key highlights from the Rose Inc Tinted Serum is that it has a radiant finish, it's good for dullness and uneven texture, has light coverage, it's vegan, it's hydrating, and it's also clean and planet positive. So if that's important to you, great. It is described as a radiant skin tint that visibly plumps and smooths the skin while delivering sheer coverage. It has a couple of skincare benefits as well. It has hyaluronic acid in there, squalane, and acetyl tetrapeptide-2, which I don't know what it is, but apparently it provides environmental protection. So I have noticed there are 2 cons with this product. It can be temperamental if you add too much to your brush. Sometimes if you add too much, I feel like it does not apply to your skin properly, like it doesn't emulsify or like thicken up like it should, so it just never applies to your skin. It's kind of weird. So I find that using 2 pumps or 2 pumps and a half is the best. More than that, I find that I get difficulty blending it onto my skin. Also, it does not go well with a damp sponge at all. I usually apply it with a denser brush, and then I like to go in with a sponge just to remove excess, but whenever I do that, it kind of rehydrates it and just kind of removes it from my face. So I just blend it in with a dense brush and it's beautiful. but the pros for me highly outweigh those two cons. This is one of the most unique base products I've used, not only like looks wise or texture wise, but also performance. Since it's suspended in this serum, I thought that this was going to be like a wet oil slick situation on my oilier skin, but it's actually the complete opposite. It wears incredibly well on my oilier skin type. One of my favorite things about this is that it's really fun to use. I like how it's these little pigment pearls. It's really fun to like pop them on the back of your hand and then apply it to your skin. It's super blurring, and it has really effective light coverage. And because of those blurring qualities, I feel like it makes this even more perfecting than it is. Like, it boosts that coverage even more. This has been one of the most undetectable foundations, or skin tints rather, that I have ever tried. When it's on my skin, it just looks like my skin. It's incredible. This has been so far my most used complexion product. Now that I've tried it, I don't think I can go without it. It sounds dramatic, but it's true. This is my preferred kind of product for every day. I also have been wearing this a lot on dates, or if I just want a subtle, effortless vibe. I actually prefer this one over the MAC Face and Body. This used to be my go-to skin tint, but it has since been replaced with this one right here. I still like Face and Body, I still use it time to time, but the blurring properties that this provides me is unbeatable. I just love this. And it also is a little bit more long wearing on my oily skin. I feel like it just diffuses the oil as the day goes on a lot better than this one did. This next one has been one of my favorite discoveries out of all of them. This is the Dior Forever Skin Glow foundation. So let's talk about its key highlights. It's a liquid formula, it's hydrating, has medium coverage, long wearing, radiant finish, and the packaging is recyclable. It's described as a clean Dior foundation that has up to 24 hours of wear and provides visibly radiant, medium to full coverage and hydration. I do have one con for this product, in that it is quite heavily fragranced, and I notice it, and my sniffer doesn't work the best, okay? My nose doesn't really detect that many smells from foundations, but I notice it quite significantly with this one. So if you're sensitive to smells, I wouldn't purchase this one. I feel like you might have problems with it. It does dissipate throughout the day, but I thought it was important to mention. I really like how this one has SPF 15. I always wear SPF under any complexion products, but it's always nice to have that extra coverage or protection during the day. This has become one of my go-tos for events or for longer days. Whenever I apply this foundation, I feel like my skin is red carpet ready. It just has the most gorgeous glow that's not too much. It just looks really healthy and just kind of diffused. It's gorgeous. I really adore its buildable coverage. I can kind of alter it to get any type of coverage level, which I enjoy. So I can go from light to full coverage if I want with this one product. But the most important thing to me is that it's super long wearing, and whenever I wear it, I don't have to think about it. It doesn't change throughout the day. It just stays put and stays looking good. And I also really like when I'm applying it, I don't really have to think about it or really pay attention, just because its consistency is so nice and it's been so reliable. I just know it's gonna go on and look good. This is just one of those foundations that I kind of trust fully. I just know it has my back, so it's been an incredible addition to my collection, and I've been using it a ton. The next one I'm going to be talking about is the Makeup Forever HD Skin. This one is quite comparable to the Dior Forever Skin Glow, and I'll touch on that in just a minute. But a few key highlights of this foundation is that it's a liquid formula, it's long wearing, has a natural finish, it has medium coverage, it's waterproof, and it's best for oily, combo, and normal skin, so everyone. And it's described as an undetectable liquid foundation that blurs and covers imperfections for up to 24 hours. It's powered by a micro skin system that syncs with the skin for a true to skin finish. So this is truly the improved version of the OG Ultra HD foundation. I prefer this one because of its blurring and light diffusing properties, which I'm very happy about. I have found that there's two cons with this one. This is actually the foundation I'm wearing today. I just wanted to mention that before I forget. But this one, you can't use any silicone products, aka the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. That's why this foundation wasn't working for me for the longest time. I don't know why I didn't put two and two together, but that's the reason why. And also, it does not wear well at all if you forget to shake it. So when you get this one, or if you get this one, remember to always shake it. This one, of course, has lovely coverage, and it also has a beautiful natural skin-like finish. I think this foundation would suit a majority of people's preferences. It's super adjustable in finish and coverage level. You can get a dewy look, a matte look, or an in-between look if you'd like. It's a really nice and easy, reliable foundation. It's very comfortable to wear. It's quite predictable. It's just very simple. You don't really have to think about it. It has a very comfortable texture. It feels lightweight and undetectable when you're wearing it. It just stays feeling comfortable all day when you wear it. It does not change throughout the day. If I were to rate this foundation, I would rate it E for everyone. Just because I feel like it's so adjustable. Anyone could make this work for them. And it's also incredibly user-friendly. It blends really well with your fingers or a sponge or a brush. And it also is for all skin types. So it truly is for everyone. This would also be an incredible option for a makeup artist kit. When I was a working makeup artist, I actually used the Ultra HD foundation as my main foundation in the kit, and it got along with a lot of people. So I think this one will have the exact same effect. So if you are a working makeup artist, I would look into this one. So now I'm going to be talking about how these two kind of compare, because I find that they have some similar vibes. So it has the same longevity, very long wearing, love that. The only differences is that this one has SPF 15 and it also is quite a bit more glowy in finish, and it is also significantly more fragranced than the Makeup Forever one. This one does have a light scent, but it's not as crazy as this one. And also the Makeup Forever one does have a way better shade range than the Dior one. This next foundation I'm going to be talking about has been hugely hyped on the internet. It's the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. So a few key highlights of this foundation is that it's good for redness, it has medium coverage, it's good for dullness, uneven texture, it has a natural finish, and it's good for dark spots. And it's described as an advanced makeup skincare hybrid foundation with a natural finish that quickly blurs and smooths while visibly improving skin's clarity over time. I kind of disagree with the natural finish. I feel like it's a lot more glowy than a natural finish is. I do have a couple cons that I have noticed with this one. I feel like it has a tendency to separate time to time. That's only when I have been, I guess, hotter in temperature. I find that it kind of separates in the areas where I get oily. And I also find that this shade range leans really pink or really yellow. I find that that's an issue with NARS foundations in general. I feel like I have to buy a couple shades to mix my perfect kind of neutral tone. And it also tends to oxidize, meaning that when it dries down, it does turn a deeper shade than it originally looks like. Those are my cons, but I feel like the pros outweigh those for me personally. I really adore its thin consistency, but its potent coverage. It has quite a bit of coverage for how thin feeling the texture is. Although it's very glow giving, it doesn't enhance texture or pores. It blurs and softens them, and it really gives your skin a beautiful diffused look. It's also really fun to work with because it applies quickly and evenly, so I don't have to pay attention when I'm blending it out. I just know it's going to look good. I love that when it comes to foundations. It's been my go-to when I'm feeling like my skin is a little textured and I want to even that out. It's also been my go-tos for like dinners out or in situations with a lower light. Just because it's such a thin consistency, it's very undetectable on your skin, so you won't look cakey at all. It's just your skin when you're in lower light settings. It's awesome. I have found that this one has a similar amount of glow to the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin, but I like this one's thinner consistency much more. I feel like it's easier to wear and use on the everyday if you so please. And I also find that it just is a lot more comfortable and easier to wear in general. I also actually prefer this over a classic one, which is kind of shocking to say. I like this one over the Luminous Silk just because I find that this one is even more blurring, but it has a lot nicer glow to it as well. I used this not too long ago and I was kind of missing this one that day. I just prefer the results, and I also like how the coverage is easier adjustable. Now let's give the spotlight to the Rare Beauty Positive Light Tinted Moisturizer. Now, a few key highlights for this one is that it's a liquid formula, it's hydrating, has light coverage, it's best for dry, combo, normal skin, it's vegan, and it has a radiant finish. And it's described as a 16-hour natural glow foundation with buildable medium coverage to hydrate, smooth, blur pores, and brighten skin. So I really love how this one has SPF 20. I just like products that have SPF in them. Like I said, I always wear it underneath, but it's always a bonus. I like this one a lot. It was kind of an immediate like for me. It gave me a lot of similar vibes to the Fenty Beauty Ease Drops. It has the same blurring and diffusing properties, but it has a natural skin-like glow to it, whereas the Fenty Beauty one is more matte. And I have been enjoying that more dimension too, so I've been leaning more towards this one. I love how this one is a true buildable skin tint. So if I want more of a perfected look, I can achieve that, and I really like having that option in one product. I adore how this one applies with a brush. I feel like I always get better results with a brush instead of using my fingers. I think it overall just turns out better than applying it with hands. I like its approachable glow. It feels comfortable and it never feels heavy. There's never going to be any oil slick vibes, nor does it feel like a glowy product. It feels kind of like a matte product on the skin, which I like because I know it's just going to stay suspended on your face. It's just not going to go anywhere. And something that was really important to me is that it does not smell like SPF during the day, especially since this one has kind of a higher SPF count than others I've tried in the past. And to compare it to their first foundation launched, I actually preferred this one over their OG foundation just because the OG one used to be very inconsistent with me. Some days it would look incredible and others it would look terrible, if I'm putting that nicely. It wouldn't matter if I'm using the same skincare or same products on top. It was just very different day to day. This one has been a lot more consistent. I have been able to rely on it a lot more, and it's just simply more up my alley than their original one in finish and consistency. So if you like the Fenty Beauty Ease Drops but you wish it was a bit more glowy in finish, I think you would really enjoy this one. So now we're going to be talking about the very famous KOSAS Revealer Foundation. This one was also very, very hyped, at least on my end of the internet. So a couple of its highlights is that it's medium coverage, it's good for dullness and uneven texture, it has a natural finish, it has also reef safe SPF, which is cool to see, it's long wearing and clean and planet positive. And it's described as a clean, skin improving, medium coverage SPF 25 foundation and treatment with hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, peptides, squalane, vitamin B5, arnica, and caffeine. So it's got a lot of stuff in there. So I have noticed two cons with this foundation. After a long period of time, it starts to smell like SPF and it's kind of stinky a little bit. And you can definitely smell it when it's on your skin. And it also has the tendency to enhance drier spots. I have been kind of using acne washes and just like salicylic acid products, and I've been encountering some dry patches, and I feel like this one enhances them quite a bit. So if you have a drier skin type and you tried this, I would love to know your experience, because from what I've seen, I don't know if like a dry skin type would love this, but let me know if that's wrong. That's just what I'm suspecting right now. But now I'm going to talk about my personal experience with it. I personally felt like it was quite special immediately. It kind of reminded me of one of my favorite foundations, the LYS Triple Fix, just thicker in consistency, and I also liked how it has that SPF in it. It also has a super melty formula. It just goes into your skin really beautifully, and that surprised me due to its kind of thicker consistency. It has more of a natural, approachable glow, which I like. I feel like if you are a bit oilier in skin type, you would be able to pull this one off like I do. And whenever I wear this foundation, I catch myself looking at my skin a lot in the mirror. I just always think my skin looks terrific. It amplifies the light beautifully, and I like to use this in a couple ways. On the everyday, I actually prefer just applying this with a sponge. I feel like I get a more light coverage, seamless look, suitable for like an everyday vibe if I want to look more natural. Or when I use a brush, I get more of a full coverage look that still looks quite seamless, of course. I like having both options in one. I really like those foundations that you can kind of manipulate and adjust to suit whatever vibe you're going for that day, and this one is easy as that. I'm still in my testing period right now with this one, but this is what I've noticed so far. I have used this one upwards of 7 times, I would say. So I've had a little bit of experience with this one this far, but that's what I have observed recently. And the last foundation I'm going to be talking about is the DANESSA MYRICKS Yummy Skin Serum Foundation. So this one's key highlights is that it's a liquid formula, it's hydrating, it's vegan, it has medium coverage, which I would disagree with. I feel like it's a full coverage product. It has a radiant finish, and it's also refillable, which I love to see. And it's described as a skincare hybrid foundation with medium buildable coverage that effortlessly creates a natural looking skin-like glow. I would say that this is a lot more glowy than a natural skin-like glow, but that's just me. It has jojoba oil, which intensely moisturizes and softens skin, hyaluronic acid. I feel like all brands are just shoving hyaluronic acid wherever they can these days, but this one does have it. It hydrates and plumps the look of fine lines and your wrinkles. And it also has olive-derived squalane, so that's kind of cool. It's known to balance oil production and diminish visible signs of aging. So this foundation here is for the dewy look lovers, because you are going to get the dew with this. It's one of the most glowy foundations I have ever used in my life. So with that being said, if you have a super oily complexion, I think I would say to stay away from this one. I feel like it's just going to be too much, depending on your preferences, of course, but if you don't want to look too shiny, I don't know if this one's for you. Usually when I try foundations with this amount of glow, they feel very heavy and I feel aware that I'm wearing makeup and they just kind of make me feel uncomfortable. I have not noticed that at all with this one. It feels dry on the skin in a good way. I think that's due to its very flexible formula and it just stays put on the skin, which is really interesting to see. It feels surprisingly lightweight for the amount of coverage and glow that this one offers you. When I first used this, the coverage was shocking. You only need the smallest amount of this product and it does blend away really nicely. If you go in with too much, you're going to end up with a really unflattering effect. It's going to look not cakey, but it's going to look very obvious that you're wearing makeup. Yeah, it just does not go over well if you use too much. Take that as a little warning. I've so far had a very interesting experience with this foundation. I really enjoy its packaging. I like how this is like a little tip applicator that you squeeze product out with. It's very different from what you're used to seeing or feeling when you see serum foundations. This is unlike any other serum foundation I've ever tried. I think this foundation would get along best with those of you who have normal, dry, or combo skin types. If you do have an oilier complexion but you're looking for something with similar coverage, I would check out the original Vision Cream Cover from DANESSA MYRICKS. I feel like the coverage levels are comparable. This one just has more of a natural to kind of more matte finish. And you can also adjust this with moisturizers or like an oil or anything like that. I think just in coverage ways, this is similar. I have found that the Yummy Skin Foundation could be comparable to the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. It has that dramatic glow and overall similar vibes, but of course, this one does not break me out, which is amazing news. And I really like how it's a little bit thinner in feeling and it's more seamless and comfortable in comparison to my experience with this one. So there we have it. That's the facts and my experiences with those 8, but now I'm going to try to rank them for you guys. I do have my notes here because it took me a very long time to settle on one ranking. So it's gonna be a little bit mixed. So like I said in the beginning, it was difficult for me to rank them because I go to some of these foundations for different purposes. So I'm going to rank them and give you my favorite ways of using them. So my number 1 complexion product has been the Rose Inc Skin Enhanced Luminous Tinted Serum. This has been my most used and I love this for every day. It's just approachable coverage and it looks good in many circumstances and it just looks the same on me all day. It just is the perfect effortless vibe I look for. So now for my number 2 and 3 spot, they're kind of tied for me. And those are the Makeup Forever HD Skin and the Dior Forever Skin Glow. They kind of do the same thing for me, just very minute differences. So I'd say my number 2 spot is the Dior Forever Skin Glow Foundation, just because I like the more glowy, flawless, luminous skin finish it offers me. And it just is awesome for longer days. And the Makeup Forever HD Skin is good if I want more of a matte or just skin finish look, but a very long wearing effect. Both of these provide you with the best makeup canvas. You're just set after that. It just gives you a blank canvas to work on top of. And my number 4 spot would be the KOSAS Revealer Foundation. I really like this one. It's great for every day. It's very simple to wear, easy to wear. I don't really have to think about it or worry about it. And I love how it has a higher amount of SPF in it. Number 5 spot will have to go to the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I love this one for dinners out. I feel like it looks good in lower light settings. It blurs my skin like crazy and its thin formula helps it to never look cakey, especially in those lower light settings where makeup can be kind of detectable. And spot number 6 goes to the Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer. This is another great everyday option. It's just an easy go-to. You know it's just going to look good. It's going to blur out your texture, but keep you looking glowy. And overall, it just gives your skin a really nice, healthy look. And for spot number 7, It's going to be the DANESSA MYRICKS Yummy Skin Foundation. If I want a super glowy look, I go to this one. I feel like it gives my skin a lot of dimension, and also I think this one photographs very beautifully just because of how much light it catches, and it just overall gives you a very dimensional look. Spot number 8 will go to the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. This is actually the only one in this video I no longer use just because I fear that it's going to break me out. It just feels heavier in comparison to the other ones mentioned here, and I just simply prefer the other ones I mentioned here. Just simple as that. And there we have it. Those are all of the foundations I'm going to be talking about today. Please let me know if you enjoyed today's video and this kind of style. I worked really hard on this video. I took like 3 days to note this video out and like try on all the products and really observe them. But that's going to be it for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful. If you did, please give this video a like. It would help me out very much. I'll also make sure to link all of the products I mentioned in today's video in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!